Hi, everybody, it's me again, and yeah, this is years late, but well, better late than never, you could say. So, I've talked about which remake I thought was the absolute worst so far, at least, and so far I'm still sticking with it. I still think Lady and the Tramp is the worst remake. I because of the lack of plot and motivations not making sense anymore. And not lack of plot, but lack of things making sense in the plot and things getting out of order in a way that didn't make the motivations make sense anymore. I and I still feel that way because you know what? With all the other remakes, I've been able to understand the plot and motivations even if the original movies didn't exist. So I I I may not be I may not love the live action Lion King so much, but at least I knew what the plot was and it had excellent voice acting. And say what you will about the live action Pinocchio, but truth be told, it's got some elements in there that I wish other live action remakes had, as well as it being my guilty pleasure. And I don't care what anybody says, that's still my guilty pleasure. And maybe I'll talk about it another time. When I'm making a list of which remakes I think are the best, worst, in between. Or talking about the in betweens and where I'd rate them. But today, let's talk about the best, or what I think is the best, because apparently I didn't realize that not everybody likes this one. But I love this one. I love this remake the most. So, what is this remake I love? It is, drum roll please, The Jungle Book 2016. So, why do I like that so much? One major reason: the plot. It's consistent throughout the entire thing. It's its own a version of The Jungle Book. And it takes elements both from the book and the original cartoon and marries it in a way where it can kind of work on its own. I Are there flaws in it? Absolutely. At this point you could kind of expect it with any live action remake. Well, any live action Disney remake, I should say. I I remember when this movie came out, and I didn't know what to think when I saw the posters, but when I saw that Bill Murray was Baloo, I just rolled my eyes and I'm like, seriously, Bill Murray, him as Baloo? I don't even know if he can legit sing, but well, the movie doesn't care and it's not a musical, so but it doesn't do bad with singing bare necessities, but even if it wasn't musical, I think he makes a really good Baloo. And on top of that, he's not trying to copy Phil Harris whatsoever. I mean, he creates his own version of Baloo, so apologies, Bill Murray, for that. I and then I saw the other cast members like Ben Kingsley. Clearly, he can do no wrong with his acting, though he can do plenty wrong with picking some movies. What were you thinking when choosing Blood Rain? Okay, and Idris Elba as Shere Khan, and he clearly delivers on a performance. I The kid playing Mowgli, Neil Sethi, um, I think he's good. I think he's really good with what he was told to do and what he was given. And this is a small detail, but I like that all throughout the movie. His body doesn't heal. Even in the beginning, his body doesn't heal right away. You see the scratches, you see the bruises, you see the stings, you see everything that he would naturally go through when surviving 10 years in the jungle. And, I mean, I guess in the animated movie they couldn't help it. They had to make him look clean and look like nothing was wrong. Though I still question how the wolves that were raising Mowgli knew how to put a loincloth on him. Disney logic, I get it, but I'm pretty sure it's worth questioning, and I'm pretty sure even I, the original author would say the same thing. I and controversially, I also like Scarlett Johansson as Ka. I mean, I didn't think I would that much because, well, most of us know him when I mean, most of us know him being played by Sterling Holloway, and yeah, Sterling Holloway did a great job and all. But I felt like Scarlett Johansson gave more of a temptress vibe and luring a her victims to their deaths with showing them the realities and lulling them into it. Whereas Ka in the original was more like, go to sleep, please go to sleep. I'm sorry, I like Sterling Holloway, but I don't know how to feel about this Ka. I mean, he's kind of funny, mm, but I did like the original Shere Khan, and I mean, but I even like the new Shere Khan and what they do with him, and how they make him intimidating, and really try, I mean, and make an effort to deliver on his threats. So, I mean, it even shows him blind in one eye, and I think that's a cool detail. And I, when I heard that that Jon Favreau, who directed this movie, was going to do The Lion King, I knew that animation wise, the Lion King would be in good hands, even if the animals barely emoted, or I mean, little to no emotion. But what this movie achieved that some of the cast members, not all of them, in The Lion King did not deliver on was emotion to a point where I could almost sense it from each animal. You could sense it in their, I mean, you could sense it in their range. Like if Idris Elba's Shere Khan I was threatening the wolf pack. You could feel the threats. You could hear it in his voice, but also in his body language and roar. He may not have squinted his eyes or made a smile, but he didn't have to in this case because the acting was just that good in both the animation, the realistic roar, I and the vocal performance. And yes, I'm going to say it again, Lion King. This is what you need to take notes from. As well as the 2005 Narnia. Okay, so, back on subject, sorry. So, I also, I, I also like, King Louis in this one. I, he was legit scary in this one, and I, when I saw the movie, I really thought that they were just going to bring out a colorful orangutan going, I want to be like you. I like having fun, leading everybody in a song. I mean, that's what I remember from King Louis in the original, and pretty much being just like his voice actor Louis Prima, and doing it all Sherman Brothers style, as well as adding in his own style. But he doesn't quite do that. Christopher Walken voices King Louis in this one, and you could get a mob vibe from this one. And actually, I I like that from King Louis. I mean, in this case, because he's like, I'm willing to make a deal that you're not. I mean, that you don't want to turn away. Show me the red flower, aka fire. Show me how to make it, and I'll let you live in the jungle unbothered. I I that's actually some pretty good mob stuff. And for everybody who I mean and I get that the song's pretty awkward to put in. I want to be like you is I mean, it's a little awkward to put it in that moment, but it's moments like this where I say it's Christopher Walken. It's best not to question it because that's kind of been his acting style and what both Jungle Book movies did. The original 1967 one and the 2016 one, they glorified their actors and showed off their talents so that, I mean, in a way that kids would not understand, but their parents would. So when you hear Christopher Walken singing as King Louis, you get the joke in a way that, I mean, knowing that this is what Christopher Walken does, and there's even a moment where Mowgli is ringing a cowbell. I would love to know if there was anybody in the audience, in the movie theater, that shouted, "I need more cowbell." I mean, it's little touches like that that make it fun. And even Bill Murray gives a few of his signature a ways of delivering his lines, a and even on his own, he I mean, and if you did not tell me that Bill Murray was voicing Baloo, I wouldn't always guess it because he delivers as his own character, and the character just lives in a comedic, lax, fun way. And Phil Harris kind of did that, but Phil Harris's Blue was kind of more, what do you call it? A lot more musical, which I love. I'm a huge sucker for musicals, but the problem I sadly had with the original Jungle Book, for the record, it's very charming and I love it, but it's not one of my top favorites, mainly because the plot's kind of an afterthought when it comes to the middle of the movie. You started off with the plot, end it with the plot. It's mostly just Mowgli going from character to character, song to song, and then just moving on to the next moment until he finally confronts Shere Khan. I mean, that's just my personal uh, views of the movie. So, but then again, a lot of people see something in this movie that I might be missing, or maybe just not saying. um, but I like how this one is consistent storyline. There's no character to character, just but if there is character to character, it consistently works with the story. You see I you see Mowgli get confronted by Kaa only for Kaa to get knocked out by Baloo, and that's his first encounter with Baloo, and he hangs out with him for a while, and then eventually he comes across the elephants, saving one of them, and um, then he gets kidnapped by the monkeys, and so forth. I mean, it's just the way it works, and that climax is awesome. I mean, I love the animated climax as well. But one of the things I love in this climax is Mowgli choosing whether or not to be a man or to be among his brother wolves, and neglect being human in a sense, because he's got a hold of the red flower and is getting ready to use it on Shere Khan, accidentally setting the rest of the forest on fire. But he then decides that I he's gonna fight Mowgli. I no, he's gonna fight Shere Khan the way he needs to, and even Ben Kingsley's Bagheera actually encourages it. So yeah, and then it's just a battle of wits from there on out. And there's only a few things that I question in this movie. Like, for one, Shere Khan, how do you know that that was Mowgli's father that you killed? I Do you just have a good scent memory? And if you had that good of a scent memory, how did you not take out the other wolves? Um, And also, as much as I like the ending, it kind of cops out and feels incomplete. I maybe not in the same way that Pinocchio's ending felt incomplete, but I I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to end a certain way where Mowgli finally decides that he belongs in the man village or doesn't. I don't know. I mean, I think it was just a little rushed. And I mean, yeah, much like Pinocchio's ending. So I that part wasn't that good. But otherwise, I love this movie. I love the animation in there. I love the storyline. I love that they did their own thing, and that's something that I like remakes to try and do. I mean, for Disney remakes to try and do your own thing. I don't feel limited by the media that you have to do. I get that for some movies you probably have to copy the plot. I mean, they probably felt like they had no choice but to do that with the Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. I though to be fair to Beauty and the Beast, they tried a couple things, but I Jungle Book and Pinocchio tried a couple things and didn't feel like they needed to copy and paste every single thing. I mean, Pinocchio, yeah, you could argue it copied and pasted a few things wrong, but um, it put in elements that I miss from a lot of other remakes. And well, what's another one? As much as I don't really like Maleficent that much, it went its own route in a different way and tried new things with this character that we all love and did not copy and paste Sleeping Beauty, which kudos in that way. Just wish they did not mess up on everything else. And Jungle Book, while still keeping faithful to Rudyard Kipling and Walt Disney, um, it took its own chances, went its own direction, and tried a few new things that made it work to its advantage. So this is why I personally love the Jungle Book, and that is my favorite remake so far. Will the Little Mermaid top that? I don't know yet. Maybe it will, but not likely because I think they're gonna still keep to the story while also trying new things. But at the same time, you never know. But until then, Jungle Book 2016, my all time favorite Disney remake.